Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Steve, thanks for agreeing to give a testimony. You're one of the students on the School of Supernatural Evangelism.
Yep.
Do you want to just say how long you've been a Christian?
I've been a Christian for 20 years.
And now we were in class on the 15th of January.
Yep.
A date that you remember
I will
well.
remember for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Do you want to just say, so we were in the ministry time,
Yeah.
so at the end of the actual class. Do you want to say what happened?
Yeah, sure. We were receiving from the Holy Spirit. The subject for the day, for the evening's course, had been the infilling of the Holy Spirit. And so at the end we had a ministry session where we invited the Holy Spirit to be with us, and people were getting touched in various ways. And the Holy Spirit starts to touch me powerfully, which was great. But then Rob comes over and says, Steve, I think that you're being blocked from walking in everything God has for you.
Yeah.
And inwardly I groan, and because this is the third time in 8 years that I've had that said to me. And in the past I've had counselling and tried to forgive people and forgiven people and so forth, and done that. But this time the Holy Spirit is pushing me to the floor, and I say to Rob, look, if there are any demonic influences over me, can you please cut them off? And which Rob does. He starts to pray about demonic cutting of soul ties and so forth, and I then end up on the floor, semi-conscious, deeply coughing, coughing deeply, but it wasn't a bronchial cough. It's hard to explain unless you've experienced it, but it was a deep, deep cough as I'm laying there on the floor, which then happened on a regular basis. Cough, 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 cough. I'm semi-conscious. I'm not really aware of what's going on. A few random thoughts come into my head, but I'm generally aware of what's going on around me. But I'm coughing and coughing and coughing.
Yeah. I think at this stage, a few of us who were, because a lot was happening that evening.
Yeah.
I mean, it was quite powerful.
Yeah.
But some of the other guys were with me. We were just praying over you, and you were on the floor.
Yeah.
And there did seem to be an internal struggle going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what happened?
Then, I think it was about 10 minutes of coughing, and then at the end of it, I let out a huge sigh. I don't recall ever sighing like that ever before, and it was, and then I wake up, and something powerful has happened.
Yeah.
While I'm laying on the floor, during the process of this deliverance, I think this is demonic. I think I have a rational thought, as though I'm looking on from the outside, thinking, I think I'm being delivered of something here.
Which was a novel thought.
So
that wasn't what you were expecting, was
no,
it?
it was not what I was expecting. My upbringing was, if you're a Christian, you cannot be carrying demons, which is completely in error. I've now experienced the deliverance of a demon, and so I get up feeling excited and lighter, but not aware of anything in particular. It was a demon of such and such. It didn't talk. It didn't.
We didn't know what it was at this stage, did we?
Yeah, but I go home and pray and ask the Holy Spirit, what was the cause of that demonic influence in my life?
Yeah.
And he takes me back to when I was 9 years old, to a certain event.
Well, look, before we go into that, because we'll chat about that. But over the next few days, you noticed the fruit of it.
Yes.
And what was the fruit?
Less anger, much less. I wondered where the Steve Olney of before had gone, because anger had been very easy for me to express.
Yeah.
I felt very calm, a state of grace. It was fantastic, because I just felt so peaceful, and I didn't react in anger to situations with my children and my wife.
Yeah.
I was very calm and less bitter and more peaceful.
Yeah.
So that was the immediate fruit in the next few days. So.
Right, and your wife's noticed the difference?
Yes, my wife's noticed the difference. She says that whereas before I used to get angry and brood on the anger for a long time, I I'm now slower to react, and if I do get angry, it peaks and then goes down very quickly, and I'm calm again if I do get angry. So it's been wonderful to experience this, to realise that anger is not part of my personality. Because before I was thinking, this is who I am, I've got to live with it, I need to forgive people maybe, I've got this root of pain in me that needs to, I just can't seem to get free of it. And yes, I've tried counselling and other ways to be free of it, which has helped, but this was the root cause of the demon in my life. So
and I mean that kind of segues into how the inroad came in, because you yourself came from quite a dysfunctional family.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want to just share a little bit about that?
My dad was a womanising alcoholic. His father before him was a womanising alcoholic. My great-grandparents were both alcoholics. So there's been this generational curse of alcoholism, divorce, shortness of life in the male line. My dad was 62 when he died, 63, 64 for his dad, 65 for his dad. So I think there was a generational curse on my family, which my dad was abused by his brother as a boy, physically abused, beaten up on a regular basis, made to feel like the second son.
So in that, so
anger
and
was part of his upbringing. Anger was part of his.
And you had there was a specific occasion that God really highlighted for you.
That's right.
It's actually quite traumatic. And
when
painful.
after the deliverance, I went home and that night and prayed. What was the root cause of the demon into my life? And the Holy Spirit showed me this event when I was 9 years old, where I came downstairs one Saturday morning and said to Dad, "Where's Mum?" Now, for some reason, he flew into a rage at me at this point and verbally tore me apart for 20 minutes. Standing up close to me, shouting at me, calling me names, cursing me. After the 20 minutes was up of this treatment, I was sobbing and shaking like a leaf. Trauma is a root cause, can be a root cause of a demonic entrance into someone's life, especially I think if it's your dad who's already part of a demonic curse in the generations, a generational curse. He poured out his anger and bitterness onto me, and I think that demon of anger and bitterness took root in me. Usually my anger and bitterness over the years would be pointed at myself, negative self-dialogue, or come out at the TV screen, or aggression in sport, or those sort of things. It was never usually aimed at anybody else but me, because I had an issue because I'd seen him treat my mum so badly. When he was drunk, he beat her up. I internalised that anger was bad and you couldn't show it. So,
So since then, really, anger's been a part of your life up until now, and you have received professional counselling for it. The difference between that and now?
The root cause has been taken away, and now I can say that it's not part of who I am. When I thought, I'm 49 years old now, I thought it was just part of my personality, something I was going to have to live with and try and control. And now I think I have the Spirit, a Holy Spirit within me, and I can be a calm person, and I think that's fantastic. And that's just what Jesus has done. Excuse me.
That's Steve. Thank you. It's been tremendous. So thanks for that.
Thank you.